You wind up in hell after you die. When you arrive, Saturn informs you that it's just regular life, but you have to pick a minor inconvenience to plague you for all eternity. What do you pick? There's a line everywhere I go. It is not ideal, but I don't usually mind waiting. The only way I know this isn't the most British thing I've read today is you didn't say queue. Imagine going home to your to have sex. Seems like mine is already tinnitus. All I hear every dang day. Mop. I envy people who like total silence. I prefer just enough noise to drown out the tinnitus. Leo, same here. 1 year with tinnitus. Gotta say it's getting less annoying. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with this. Could you please type it a little louder? Tinnitus is like mentioning the game. I'm not in pain until someone says tinnitus. Also, you lost the game. Everyone in front me on the sidewalks always walks in groups and slow. Time to jaywalk. As a person who hates waiting, this will be the end of me. Op said minor inconvenience. Minor, you were already in hell. Everyone's already dead. Just use a machete like you would in a jungle. I always shake too many or too few pills out of the bottle. As someone who works in a pharmacy, business as usual then. Business in a listen of someone says as usual. Or service business as the amount that comes out is always zero. Enjoy your headache in hell. Well, this didn't come to mind, but holy shit, it is annoying. The tag on the tea bag always gets pulled into the cup. You gotta wrap it around the handle. In Britain, we avoid that entirely by not having a tag on the tea bag. You fish that tea bag out with a spoon or your fingers if you're a mad cunt. Tag. Just pull a tea bag out of the box, chuck it in a mug, and let that bad boy free float until you fish it out on the teaspoon. My fingernails grow twice as fast, so I have to clip them more. Nail biting intensifies. Yashikij Kyra go brr. You can counter this effect by living a peaceful life, occasionally murdering some people. Kyra Yashikij has entered the chat. Bananas always taste warm. I don't eat bananas. Banana have always a black spot and are sponges. I don't eat bananas either. I hated bananas all my life. Ate one in my late teens after not eating on in 10 years because I was getting peer pressured by friends who felt I should give bananas a second chance. A minute later my tongue was itchy and weighed 1,000,000 pounds. Long story short, my throat closed up and I have never felt more vindicated in my life. Bananas are the absolute worst fruit. Hell can hit me with as many warm bananas as they want. Edit. Also, big fruit sucks for creating a flavorless banana monoculture. I'm never able to sneeze again. It goes away just before I can. He said, minor, dear God, sneezing is one of my favorite sensations. To me, this is comparable to never being able to get an erection. This entire post has me alarmed by how likely I am already in hell. This is the bad place. Need to poop after showering, never before. That's a brutal one. Nothing like finally feeling nice and clean and then a poop coming in and ruining everything. I see you are no stranger to pain. I always have to poop during the shower. Great. I never have to poop anymore. Read it. Oh boy, my first award ever about a comment about never showering. My bared hair screams quietly whenever I shave. What the fuck, I hate this, but also I can't stop laughing. The mental image is astounding and vaguely terrifying. I'm sorry, but this sounds fucking hilarious. Do you remember the scream cheese from Hotel Transylvania? Holy shit, dude. You okay, Mao? USB cables are always lined up wrong on the first try. So absolutely nothing changes. And the second try too. But like, what if you try to plug in a USB cable? What if you tried to kill Well, yes, I'm already in hell. Hell, I already hell. I like this. Hey, wait a minute. Wait, first I am gonna ask that fucker what I picked last time. Pays to stay informed. I wonder if they stack. You created subbing toes once in a while. You were literally evil. I'm certainly not taking tinnitus again. I'd rather just be deaf. This one got me. Stickers that never come off cleanly on the first try and usually leave residue. So regular life then. My wallet always has too much money to close comfortably and is uncomfortable in my back pocket headed. I never expected this kind of response to my comment. Thank you everyone for the votes, the awards, and the suggestions of looking for a new wallet and keeping it away from buttocks. Big brain, am I the only person who uses their front pocket? A variation of George Costanza. But it is because there are only dimes. Once a week, at a random time, I will step in a small bit of unseen water while wearing my socks. Better than the warm dog vomit squishing between your bare toes. Better than the squishing between the wire, the sweet to the coat, I knew this life was hell. I wish it were only once a week. I can never remember people's names correctly. That's normal life. You have to run the hot water for like 5 minutes before it starts getting warm. Just think of all the cold water you could sell in hell. It takes 8 from mine. I've had that. It wasn't too bad for the morning shower. I would just head straight to the bathroom upon getting out of bed, turn the hot water on all the way up, then go to the kitchen and get the coffee started. By the time I got back to the bathroom, it would be hot enough. To everyone who has this issue here on Earth, check out a hot water recirculating pump. They were about $200, but are easy to install as long as you have an electrical outlet near your hot water tank. Watts makes the one I installed, and they were at Amazon, Lowe's, and Home Depot, and probably elsewhere. After installing the pump and a valve under the farthest sink from the water heater or the sink you really care about, you will always have hot water within a couple of seconds. It's kind of amazing. If I understand it correctly, they work by having a special temperature-sensitive valve under a sink that allows the hot supply to connect to the cold supply. The pump can then push hot water from the hot water heater until it reaches that valve, and then the valve closes. Since no taps are open, the water in the cold supply gets pushed backwards. It's able to do that because the hot water heater is pulling in more cold water to replace the water the pump is pushing upstream. Or it could just be magic. Believe what you want. Pencil always breaks the first sharpen, so it has to be done a second time. That or the mechanical pencils always have the short pieces of lead. Shit never works well, so nothing changes. I'm automatically signed out of my social media account when I exit an app. I intentionally sign out sometimes to discourage myself from using social media. Then the app has tufa. Have I made my own hell? Am I in hell? What two video games would make a great game combined? Sid Meier's Pirates remade in the Assassin's Creed Black Flag engine. Please, just a good remake of Sid Meier's Pirates. Please eat it. Holy shit. Wasn't expecting a comment I wrote on the shitter this morning to be my first award winner. Thank you guys. To this day I think Sid Meier's Pirates is still the game I sunk the most time into. I got the game in middle school and played through it so many times. Well, looks like I'll be installing it tonight. Portal 2 and Superliminal. The mechanics in each game combined would make it so much fun. The one would make it super Edit. I also think the standard orientation protocol and GLaDOS would make an interesting ado for this game. This would make my brain hurt in seconds. Portal plus Half-Life crossover. is time. It is completely different from what you were talking about, but should check out this Portal 2 mod that'll be coming out in a couple months called Portal Reloaded. It basically just adds the fourth dimension into the puzzle solving. Plus, it has these great remixes of a couple songs from the game. U4 Campaign and Total War Battles Edited. Yes, I understand that having tank-to-style battles would literally make your computer a nuclear reactor. And until a quantum antimatter computer becomes a normal thing. That's why it hasn't been done yet, nor is it possible for now. But this is only a dream and a great concept for the future. Edit 2. Thank you people for your suggestions for kinda similar stuff like what I suggested, but that's not what I wanted nor meant. The point wasn't to go with similar but exactly like what I suggested, which in turn doesn't exist for now. Dude, I don't have that kind of time. I just picked up Crusader Kings 3. I was thinking 3 with medieval 2 battles would be cool, even if they don't completely fit together in their mechanics. Total War would be so much better if they actually decided to improve their campaign formula. It gets so boring so quickly once you become semi-competent at the game. Alternatively, Hoi 4 Campaign and Total War Battles would love to micromanage some battles in Hoi 4. Car Mechanics Simulator and Need for Speed always wanted a game where you can actually build your own car and drive it afterwards. Said it. I get it, my summer car is similar to that idea, but I don't want a game where I have to eat bratwurst and drink beer, and have to clean the toilet after peeing. One of my favorite parts of NIS Underground was customizing the cars. Windows, buzzing, Owen, star, you can do that actually. Automation and beaming drive on T. My summer car does that, and you can flip off the locals and eat sausages and beer whilst driving a tractor. Isn't that what my summer car is? I think there's a game like that. It is called Street Legal Racing Redline or something. A YouTuber called Shinyad made a video about it. Lego Racers, Hunt, Showdown and Skyrim. I can totally imagine a colonial fantastic game with amazing gunplay where your proficiency with your weapon actually means something while being on an open world map. I thought about something like Remnant, From the Ashes, and Skyrim. Don't know Hunt, Showdown, but it looks fun. Can you also play it solo, or is it forced only coop? Hunt, Showdown, one of the most underrated game. Star Wars Battlefront, Red Dead Redemption. I can't believe they've only recently announced working on an open world game. That's what I hope the open world Star Wars game is like. Better yet, 1 part Ghost of Tsushima, part Red Dead Redemption 21, part Knights of the Old Republic, epic Star Wars space opera with both gunslinging and lightsaber fighting combat systems. If Rockstar made the Star Wars open world game and gave it a story mode, it would probably be the best story in Star Wars. Thank Disney for canceling 1313, Dead Space and No Man's Sky. Ooh, I like this. I really like this. The first Mass Effect had something like this. You could freely travel the galaxy and visit different systems and planets outside the plot arch. Found tons of great loot this way. It made me so sad when the sequels eliminated that aspect. They've kind of flirted with the idea with the Desolation update. NIS has some corruption stuff in it as lore. It is not far-fetched to turn up the Dead Space dial a bit. Hotline Miami and Viscera clean up. Just play as a janitor in 80s Miami who has to clean up a bunch of brutal murder scenes. Check out a game called Serial Cleaner. Might be what you were looking for. If you were looking for something lighthearted, there's a game called Roomba First Blood, where you control Roomba and defend your home against people breaking in. Then, after you've slaughtered them mercilessly, you have to do your best to clean it up before your family gets home. Civilization and Stellaris. Imagine playing for 4,000 hours just to get to endgame. That's just a Paradox mega campaign. Deleted. With my luck, the save will corrupt around hour 3,999 right before I win. Battlefield or Arma IA and Company of Heroes. One player is the general, playing a typical UPS, but each of his units are actually players in an FPS. When he issues a move command, those players have a waypoint appear on their screen. If a player wants grenades in their loadout, they send a request to the general player to unlock grenades in the tech tree. It has huge potential to be amazing, and huge potential to be shit. Would be a fun experiment either way. I think the old Battlefield I did something kind of like that. Each team would have a commander who had an overhead view of the map. They couldn't see enemies on the map unless they were spotted by teammates on the ground. Could send orders to squads. It would appear as a waypoint on the squad's map. The commander could do things like supply drops, call in artillery strikes. The commander was limited in what they could do, but it was very fun. I'm pretty sure Squad and maybe Postscriptum have this kind of mechanic. I found it fun in Squad. Haven't played enough Postscriptum to know about that though. I'm pretty sure it is present in Hell Let Loose, but I'm not sure. Natural Selection 2 has this exact mechanic as well. Have you ever played Natural Selection 2? Sounds very similar to what you are describing, but I'm not sure the game is still alive. Sims and City Skillings, a management city builder game where you could zoom into any citizen and manage their life. There was a SimCity where you could export parts of your map to be used in one of the Sims games. Can't remember which versions they wasn't fully integrated, but it was a step in the good direction. I can feel the lag in my bones. Titanfall and No Man's Sky. Just using a giant flame mech to fight a giant laser dinosaur just would be so cool. What about North Star to do some long-range hunting? Or Titanfall and Titanfall 2, I miss those games. Fall and Sims and Cat, like having the family and generation aspects of Sims whilst also having the murder, sex and crime of Ta with optional missions. Like having and the sound of it, well, I seven, I'm zero, I'm show. I'm with some Crusader Kings type intrigue and dynasty building, take my money. Finally got around to playing Fallout 4. And I keep thinking of it as a Sims Fallout combo. I just came here to say this, but you beat me to it. I would play the hell out of that game. Well, there are mods for that minus the optional missions. Back in the late 90s, there was a great game called Streets of SimCity where you could import your city from SimCity and drive around it in a car. It had some buggy missions that you could do while in your city, but I really just used it to explore the cities I made. It was fantastic, and I'm surprised it didn't get more attention than it did. It was well done, especially for the time. May I interest you in Sims 4 mods? Satisfactory. Stardew Valley. Always wished the unmodded Stardew game allowed me to automate everything, and Satisfactory could use a little story. Doesn't really add a story, but you could try Factorio. The game Satisfactory was based on inspired by. It'll certainly satisfy the automate everything to target. Sea of Thieves and Assassin's Creed. Black Flag. I'd settle for Assassin's Creed. Black Flag without Assassin's Creed attached to it, and with single-player options. Open world. Can't stand playing with other people these days. Half-Life and Portal. The game will just be called 3. That would be indeed epic. The ultimate sequel. Finally, full life. Fallout and Deus Ex. I love Fallout, but I want more stealth and body augmentation. I just want Jensen's arm blades and takedowns 200. Alternatively, Fallout with anything stable and crash and bug free. Oh, so you want Cyberpunk 2077 with anything stable and crash and bug free? Oh, never mind. Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead. This could actually be a thing since Valve owns both IPs. Team Dead 6. What Man Machine should have been. This is what Overwatch 2 is supposed to be. Except for the zombies, I guess. Pav, you're a zombie. Get sniped and the sniper starts dancing while screaming medic, Age of Empires, and get to pick your faction Nord, Imperial, Dumber. Let's build a city-state and go to war with other factions, but you also get to take control of a character and participate in the battles. Edit. A lot of games recommended that I need to check out, and I wanted to say thanks to everyone that did. Gives me some titles to check out that I've missed over the years. I think the cool thing about an Elder Scrolls game would be the Elder Scrolls universe mainly. The idea works with a lot of franchises though. Maybe I just really miss haha. You should look up Mount and Blade. The new one is good, but if you don't mind the graphics, Warband has superior gameplay. Amoid is kinda tough to get to, owning your own faction but doable. The city management is not even a quarter of AO, but it's still fun. Mount and Blade 2 is dope. Pokemon Breath of the Wild. I don't know if it would be better with a trainer as the player character or a Pokemon as the character you play as, but just imagine a massive open world where you could stumble across all the Pokemon, just attack on command, no turn-based, slow-paced combat, and you can collect all types of items to boost stats, concoct potions, antidotes, all that. I can't describe my whole vision because there's just so much that could be done with a game like that, but just imagine it. May just get me to back into playing Pokemon or an adventure game. Heck, there's enough lore with the 900 monsters to make a 1000 games. I don't know, Giratina and Darkrai come from the other world. Rayquaza is nowhere to be seen, so Groudon and Kyogre are again fighting. A shortage in evolution stones puts pressure into the evolutions. I don't know. You can make any wacky excuse to start an adventure as a Caterpie, and I'd freaking buy that game. Botu had a better catching Pokemon system with horses than Sword Shield did. It is so blatantly obvious that if Nintendo funded one quality open world Pokemon game, hell, even low quality would still work. It'd be a massive success. They could even be extremely greedy and it'd still be a success. It is literally all people want. This reminds me of Poke Park on the Nintendo Wii. I loved that game when I was a kid. This is what I wanted Sword and Shield to be. Game Freak needs to stop resting on their laurels and actually do innovations people want instead of copy-pasting the same bland game over and over with new monsters. They want because money. But I can dream.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.